All right, my dear, settle in and let me tell you the story of Johnny English, a spy like no other. He may not be the best, the smartest, or the most graceful, but when duty calls, he always finds a way to save the day. For years, Johnny English had been hiding away in a peaceful monastery in Tibet. Why, you ask? Because his last mission went terribly wrong, so wrong, in fact, that he lost his knighthood and became the laughingstock of MI7, the British spy agency. But when trouble comes knocking, even the most unlikely heroes must rise again. This time, the danger was bigger than ever. Someone was plotting to assassinate the Chinese premier, and only Johnny English could stop them. So MI7 dragged him out of his quiet life and sent him straight back into action. With a new assistant, young Colin Tucker, and a sneaky, charming fellow agent named Simon Ambrose, Johnny was off on his next big mission. His first clue led him to Hong Kong, where a former CIA agent named Titus Fisher had vital information. But before Johnny could get much out of him, an assassin disguised as an innocent little old lady swooped in, taking Fisher's life and stealing an important key. Johnny managed to snatch the key back, but on his way to London, oh dear, it was stolen again. Back at MI7, poor Johnny was humiliated when he tried to explain what had happened. Things got even worse when he mistook his boss's mother for the deadly assassin and tackled her at a children's party. Let's just say, it didn't go well. Determined to redeem himself, Johnny turned to a brilliant psychologist named Kate Sumner. With her help, he remembered a hidden piece of the puzzle, a name, Artem Kharlenko, a former spy hiding under a new identity. Johnny and Tucker tracked him down at a fancy golf course, but oh no, the same old lady assassin struck again, leaving Kharlenko fatally wounded. Before he took his last breath, he whispered a chilling secret. The third key was in the hands of a traitor inside MI7. Now, Johnny had to figure out who the traitor was. He confided in Ambrose, who slyly suggested that the culprit might be the agency's gadget master, Patch Quartermain. But Tucker, being sharper than Johnny realized, saw through the deception. Ambrose himself was the real mole. Sadly, Johnny wasn't quite as quick to catch on. He even let Ambrose walk away with Kharlenko's key. By the time he figured out the truth, MI7 had turned against him, framing him as the villain. With spies on his tail, Johnny made a daring escape using a souped-up wheelchair. Yes, a wheelchair, and found refuge with Sumner. Reviewing footage from his failed mission in Mozambique, Sumner made a startling discovery. The assassins hadn't acted on their own. They had been brainwashed by a powerful mind control drug. And now, Ambrose planned to use that very same drug to force Johnny to kill the Chinese premier. Johnny rushed to the Swiss Alps, where the international peace talks were being held, but things went horribly wrong. Captured and drugged, Johnny lost control of his body, becoming a puppet in Ambrose's deadly game. With the Prime Minister's life at stake, Johnny fought to resist, using his monk training to battle the drug's effects. But it wasn't enough. His hands lifted the gun, his finger began to pull the trigger, until Tucker saved the day. By interrupting Ambrose's commands, he gave Johnny just enough time to snap out of it and reveal the truth. Ambrose fled, but Johnny wasn't about to let him escape. Their final battle took place high above the mountains in a cable car. Punches were thrown, bullets flew, and just when it seemed Johnny was doomed, he made one final, accidental move. He closed his spy umbrella, which, to his surprise, launched a missile. The missile struck the cable car, taking Ambrose down for good. With Vortex destroyed and the Chinese premier safe, Johnny was hailed a hero once more. His knighthood was restored, and he stood before the Queen, ready to be honored once again. But oh dear, just as she raised the sword for his official ceremony, Johnny saw something suspicious. Was it really the Queen? Or was it the assassin in disguise? In a split second, he sprang into action, tackling her to the ground. Gasps filled the room as guards swarmed in, capturing the real assassin. But as Johnny looked down, his face turned pale. He hadn't tackled the assassin at all. He had tackled the real Queen. Oops. And that, my dear, is the story of Johnny English, a man who always saves the day, even if he causes a little chaos along the way.